So I've been watching countless hours of Kevin Samuels, and here are a few of the things that I've noticed from his conversations with women. Now, the first thing that I've noticed from his different lectures, from his Instagram live chats with women, is one of the things he often discusses is accountability. Now, this revolves around modern women not being able to hold themselves accountable to certain standards, whether it be having a certain amount of sexual partners, whether it be them not holding themselves accountable to their weight, to their height, especially as they get closer to what he considers is the danger zone, which is age 35, at which a woman is at a higher risk in terms of pregnancy. And I myself have spoken about Kevin Samuels in the past, and I can admit that some of the things that he brings up are excellent points and some things that are very relevant to our society today and the way that women uphold themselves. So in terms of accountability, I completely agree with Kevin Samuels. You know, today the modern woman does not like to hold herself accountable because oftentimes they are babied by the world into telling them that they are princesses, they are queens. You know, a man should take them for what they are. It doesn't matter what they do. You know, they can go out and sleep with as many men as they want. They can go pursue that career and not spend time with men or focus on marriage at a young age. You know, it doesn't matter. So that is essentially the idea that many women are getting, and this can be from some of their family members, some of their friends, from social media, or the feminism movement, women pushing independence. Some of these things lead to women lacking accountability, which is one of the things that I really appreciate Kevin Samuel speaking about in his conversations with women. Another thing that Kevin Samuels often discusses is the needs and wants of men and how that coincides with the way that women behave themselves and the way that they move throughout society. One of the things that I can attest to as a man is that men, especially those who are high value men, higher earners, those who have a certain amount of respect within society, or those that are highly attractive, that can pull women that are much more beautiful and better looking, those types of men generally aren't looking for very career-oriented women, because what their concerns is with starting a family, not with being able to have a partner who they can start a business with, somebody who has a income that can help to support their family. But oftentimes men that are of higher value are looking for women that have a certain level of beauty, that have certain values, that aren't promiscuous, that don't have a history of cheating, that don't have a history of sleeping around, but women that they can scope out to be excellent mothers and members of their families, you know, women that they would want their future daughters to be like. Now, that is something that is lacking today in our society, and which is part of the reason for the divorce rates, for failing marriages, for women getting married much later, and for women having much less success in getting married. And also in Kevin Samuels' conversation, I understand he's mainly talking to African American women, but I feel like this can correlate to other women of other races as well, and just the way that they act. Now, another one of the themes that Kevin Samuel often discusses with women is about femininity. Femininity can often be described in various ways, whether you ask men or whether you ask women. But in terms of our conversation today and what women are looking for in Kevin Samuels, femininity would relate to what men look for in women and what men define as femininity, as opposed to what women or feminists would define as femininity. So from the perspective that you are a woman and you're looking for a man to marry you and pursue you in a long-term relationship, what would be more valuable to you is a definition of feminism from a man's perspective. Now, with regards to men, I can attest this from not only people like Kevin Samuels, but millions of men, as you can find online. Conversations I've had with other peers, things that I've seen working, and people who actually have long-term marriages and relationships, is that men are looking for feminine women. And by feminine women, there are a few traits within feminine women that men are looking towards. The first of those is women that are agreeable. So women that aren't always going to start problems, aren't always trying to get their point across, but the women that are able to listen to their men, and if a man might want something done a certain way, even though you might not completely understand it, that they go along with it. Now, I understand this is not going to work in every situation, but oftentimes men see things from a different point of view that women might not understand. For example, the way a woman dresses. So a woman might want to dress a certain way and step out and might not see anything wrong with it, but men understand how other men view them in a way that women will never understand. So in that case, the man's judgment would be more valid because he understands how she is being viewed in society. And this is especially important if this is a mother to his child, if this is one of his wives, somebody he is pursuing for a long-term relationship. And now another trait of femininity is not being aggressive. Oftentimes we see a lot of women, I'm not going to call it a specific community or a specific type of people, but women from a certain environment often act very aggressive. Sometimes you can even see this in stereotypes of women from New York, who people often assume as very aggressive, very masculine. And that type of energy really throws men off and really reduces your chances as a woman of being able to be in a long-term committed relationship with a man who is willing to take you serious. Now, these are a few of the things that I've noticed from hours and hours of watching Kevin Samuels. I've spoken in the past about some of the things that I don't agree with him, but these are some of the points that I do agree with. Let me know what you guys think. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, and I will be uploading a part 2 discussing a little bit further and diving a little bit deeper into some of these topics and how they relate to men and women today. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to know what you guys think, and take care.